Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I just wanted to talk about why being hard on yourself gets you nothing in life. I've met a lot of people, including myself, of course. I was like, well, why is this person famous? They are not as good as somebody I know. Or why is this person getting the job when I have more experience? It's not fair. Life isn't fair. The thing is, that mindset does not help you in any way, shape, or form. It's literally your mindset that's holding you back from the success that you want, because a lot of times the people who are not that good know that they don't need to be spectacular to become successful, to become famous. And that is why I'm making this video today. So I wrote everything down in my notes app. So I'm just going to tell you advice that I wish I had from years ago that would have made me less bitter, less resentful of the world, less angry, and more sure of myself, and really push myself to be uncomfortable, to start from the bottom. So let's get started. Number one, you don't have to be good at something to succeed in it. There are a lot of examples that you can see in everyday life, like YouTube, books, and shows. You see, like, there are books where people love to clown the author and they're like, oh my god, why is this author famous? It's not fair. A lot of people learn very quickly that you don't have to be amazing at something to have the success, the money, the fame that you want. This used to make me very angry, but at the end of the day, I learned that this is also a good thing. It can benefit me, because even if I'm not amazing at writing, I can still publish a book that would get a lot of fans. You can still do things and pursue hobbies or career paths without being the best person at it. Which brings me to my next point. Nothing is original in this world. There was an English professor when I was taking Shakespeare. I had to take it in college, and he said that nothing is original. Not any thought in your brain is original. Everything that you think of comes from somewhere. You could literally wake up, make a video, and be like, oh my god, this is revolutionary. No one has ever thought of this idea in their life, and I'm so excited to be the first one to come up with this idea. Oh, there was somebody from like 250 years ago who made up that exact same idea. Try again. You get what I mean? Like, you could come up with a song that you think came from your head, but somebody can whip out a song from like the 1960s and be like, haha, this song was made, like the beat is very similar, you copied them. You get what I mean? Like, you may think that there's no point of having a YouTube channel, there's no point of writing a book, there's no point of creating anything, because there are already thousands, millions of people who have done it before. But that mindset is wrong. Nothing is original, but what you come up with is original. Does that make sense? Like, everybody has come up with like a painting of a sunset, but your painting will be different. Like, even if it's just a little bit, your painting brings something new to the table. Think about all of the authors that you read, all the books that you read. For me, I love paranormal romance. I love books about vampires, witches, werewolves, dragons. Like, I'll never get enough of it. And the thing is, I have seen books that were literally clowned on Goodreads, got 3.1 out of 5 on their reviews, but I'm just like, I love paranormal romance and I will read it regardless of whether it is amazing or not. As long as it's a decent book, I will be very, very happy. Does that make sense? Like, we are so kind to other people. Like, even businesses where the formula is not that good or the drink is not that amazing, we always come and support small businesses. We support people who are trying to pursue their dreams. The kindness that you give to other people, why don't you give it to yourself? Like, be honest with yourself. Like, why are you so kind to YouTubers who may stutter a few times, maybe their battery dies, and then you come back and you're very patient with other people, you're kind, you have understanding for others, and you always encourage them. But where is that encouragement for you? Like, why do you support them but you don't support yourself? It is fine to not believe you're the best. That's true. That, I mean, if you started from the beginning, there's nothing wrong with believing you're not good enough now, but you should believe that you are good enough to try, good enough to start from the bottom. Which brings me to my next point. Nobody has all of the requirements needed for any job, for any career path, for any hobby. Nobody has everything figured out. So when you are trying to apply for a job and you realize that you do not have the requirements that they need, don't think of it as, oh, time to click off. Because like, if you have like 80% of the requirements that the job needs, just apply anyways. Like, who cares? Because the thing is, it's always the people who have the audacity, who have no experience, who do not know what they're doing, that are always getting the jobs. There was one person that came in at one of my jobs, and I'm sitting there like, why is this person here? They don't know what they're doing. But I literally realized that this person just applied even though they knew damn well they had no prior experience for the job. And the thing is, I feel like a lot of women are taught to always humble themselves, always humble their character, and like always shrink themselves to be less than what they are. So basically, if you see an opportunity, just grab it, take it. Who cares? There was an audition for a solo, and I walked up and I sang, and trust me, it did not sound that good, but I was really proud of myself, and I'm still proud of myself to this day, knowing that I still had the audacity to go walk up and I sang off pitch, and I didn't get the role. Obviously everybody knew who was gonna get the role, and she ended up getting the role, but I was still happy that I pushed myself to audition, because I feel like I would have regretted not auditioning. That is what I'm trying to say. Even if you fail, even if you don't get the job, at least trying will make you feel a lot better about yourself, and it will make you feel more confident, trust me. There's a saying that people say all the time: hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard. But let me bring something new to this conversation. Even if talent works hard and they become the best, who cares? You can still have a seat at the table. I'll give you an example with singers. Whitney Houston is one of the best singers of all time. She has great vocal ability. I don't know much about singing, but she is an amazing singer. But did Katy Perry just be like, well, I'm not Whitney Houston level, I'm not gonna sing, goodbye, and she just gave up on her career? Of course not. Katy Perry is a good singer. She's not the best, obviously, from common sense. If you just use your brain and you just look at both singers, you know who is a better singer. But Katy Perry brought something to the table. She didn't think, well, I'm not that good, I'm not as good as Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston. No. Like, she didn't say any of that. She still pursued her dream, and she became very, very successful. So successful that people were going, oh, it's not fair, there are better singers in this world. Like, she didn't stop believing in herself. Does that make sense? It's like people always try to make it seem like, oh, you gotta walk on eggshells around talent and hope and pray that they're not working hard enough to beat them. Like, you can still beat people who are talented as long as you work hard, because I feel like people really underestimate the importance of working hard, because if you don't work hard, regardless, you don't win. But if you work hard and you have just the slimmest amount of skill, you can make it very far in life. So to end this video, I'm going to read to you a few passages from this book. It's called If You Want to Write by Brenda Ueland. Sorry, I'm not saying her name right. But basically, this book has really pushed me to really understand creative fields and why we start to feel like we are not good enough as adults, and why we feel like our inner child, or just our spirit, you know what I mean? Like, we don't feel like we deserve to do anything creative or happy. And I'm just going to read to you a few passages that I've already bookmarked. There are wonderfully gifted people who write a little piece and then write it over and over again to make it perfect, absolutely flawless, perfect, a gem. But these people only emit about a pearl a year, or in 5 years, and that is because of the grind, the polishing, that is, the fear that the little literary pearl will not be perfect and unsolicible. But this is all a loss of time and a pity, for in them there is a fountain of exuberant life and poetry and literature and imagination, but it cannot get out because they are so anxiously busy polishing the gem. And this is the point: if they kept writing new things freely and generously and with careless truth, then they would know how to fix up the pearl and make it good in 2 seconds with no work at all. So this is a very important passage on page 41 of this book, which basically the author is saying that, let me use YouTube as an example. If you want to edit a YouTube video and come out with a video and you're just overly editing and editing and editing, and you're trying so hard to make the video perfect, you would have gotten so much more if you just continuously uploaded videos without thinking too much or overthinking it. If you just sat down and kept coming out with video after video, you would become better at editing just naturally from the practice of doing it over and over again. And here's my last passage, and it is for women. This is something that I have always been scared of, especially the idea of becoming a mother. or becoming a wife really scared me for a very long time, because I didn't like the way people wanted me to become. They wanted me to become a certain type of person. But let me read you this passage. This is why the lives of most women are so vaguely unsatisfactory. They are always doing secondary and menial things that do not require all their gifts and ability for others, and never anything for themselves. Society and husbands praise them for it when they get too miserable or have nervous breakdowns, though always a little perplexedly and half-heartedly, and just to be consoling. The poor wives are reminded that is just why women are so splendid, because they are so unselfish and self-sacrificing, and that is the wonderful thing about them. But inwardly, women know that this is wrong. They sense that if you are always doing something for others, like a servant or a nurse, and never anything for yourself, you cannot do others any good. You make them physically more comfortable, but you cannot affect them spiritually in any way at all. For to teach, encourage, cheer up, console, amuse, stimulate, or advise a husband or children or friends, you have to be something yourself. And how to be something yourself? Only by working hard and with gumption as something you love and care for, and this is important. So if you want your children to be musicians, then work at music yourself, seriously and with all your intelligence. If you want them to be scholars, study hard yourself. If you want them to be honest yourself, and so it goes. And that is why I would say to the worn and hectored mothers in the class who long to write and could find not a minute for it, if you would shut your door against the children for an hour a day and say, "Mother is working on her 5-act tragedy in blank verse," you would be surprised how they would respect you. They would probably all become playwrights. And that was on page 89 and 90. And this is like, this author really hit the nail on the head. I'm telling you, when I read this book, I just like picked it up from the library, and it changed my life. I was like, oh my god, this woman really hit the nail. This is why I was so afraid of becoming a wife, a mother, or just like becoming a responsible role in the family. That used to scare me a lot growing up, and it's because I didn't like how people were always shaming women for having time to themselves or trying to do things for themselves. There is nothing wrong, especially as a woman, to putting your foot down and putting boundaries and being like, hey, I want to create today. I want to be doing something for myself today. And this passage really hit home. So if you're a woman and you're always doing things that are useful to others or makes others comfortable, but you're never doing things that make you happy, you have to really sit down and prioritize. Like, even if you're making people's lives comfortable, you're not changing their life in any way, you're not impacting their life in any way, and you're making yourself very miserable for no reason. So if you're a woman, right, and you're someone that is like, let me try to find a new thing to clean today, because maybe it will make the person in my house happy. Ask yourself, what do you want to do today? I'm bringing Phineas and Ferb right here. Phineas, what do you want to do today? What are we going to do today? Like, do something for yourself that actually makes you happy. For me, it's YouTube and blogging. I like to write, read, I like to crochet, and I like to talk, and I like to sing. And the thing is, I was holding myself back from doing these things when I was a teenager, early adult. But once I was like, you know what, they're not going to miss me for 2 hours. They're not going to miss me for an hour. Let me just do what I want today. And even if it means just driving literally physically away from the house and doing the things that you want, it really makes your life very different, and you become happier. And it's like you're not doing too much to change your daily routine, but doing something small, like just singing something, even if you're not good at it, being creative, doing things that you want as a woman is really important, because a lot of men are taught from a very young age, I want it, I got it. They're taught that mentality that they can get whatever they want, they can do whatever they want, they can slack off on their daily routines and do things for themselves selfishly, but you're the one that has to be selfless every single day. Do not buy into that messed up mindset, because then you become a shell of who you are. You become a shadow of yourself. You can be a mother, you can be a wife, you can want those things. Like, I do like the idea of marriage, but I do want to make it very clear that I do also like the things that I do right now, and I'm not going to stop doing them. So yeah, Anyways, that is my video. It's a very long one, but I'm really hoping that I can edit it down to a shorter amount so it's easier for you guys to see. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say in this video. I just felt like I needed to do it. I literally just put on my makeup and I didn't even eat breakfast. I was like, you know, I have to say this. I have to say this because I feel like it will help you guys. And yeah, that's all I have to say for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. I'm going to come up with new content in the future. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.
You go